Hi everyone, this is Ushin from welcome to our 14th episode of Climax podcast. And today I'm joined by the Night Shadow and Busa.
Alright, so first card is Shringigan Shooter, Pinpoint Tsukomi, Ataru. Level 3 cost 2, 10,000 power, Brocade, and Gigantic trait. I don't know what the Brocade means. If all your characters are gigantic, this card gets 1,000 power, and it's healer on play. Woohoo, they got a healer.
You know, they're really making all
Yeah,
the healers like
but
super
they're
subpar.
effective.
They're really trying to make all the healers super subpar.
That doesn't change the fact that the older healers are really good.
Yeah, I know.
It's there, it's a healer, it's 11k base. Granted, some sets have it so that they just play healers just to heal. So, hey, this is 1,000 more than those ones. Yay. It's nothing special, it's nothing great, but it's nothing bad. It's just
Well, you
there.
won't be mixing a deck, so there's only Gigant trait, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I'd
For the
rather
first
I'd
effect.
rather have Kirito than Ataru.
Oh yeah, Kirito is so
Because
much
he's
better.
Kirito, man. He's Kirito.
Oh, yeah,
Kirito OP, guys.
Kirito OP, and I'm not talking about Sal. I'm talking about the Gigant one. Sheesh, that
Both
was-
of them are OP, guys. Kirito.
Honestly, the
Yeah.
Kirito card is really good.
He's too good. Sheesh.
Yeah.
I keep referring to it. Well, partly because I wasn't there for that podcast, but it's just this is a blue level 3, and comparing the two, which one's better? The better one. All right, next card. An unyielding girl, Miracle. Level 0, cost 0, 2,500 power with a gigantic and drunk trait. When this card attacks, you can pay 1 and clock 1 from the top of your deck to salvage a gigantic character. Wow, this card's good.
This card's pretty good. Now you can pay out the possible climax you may have triggered. You also get a free card out of it. It's essentially
And
a
essentially,
free
it's like a 2-card brainstorm when you're at level
Yeah.
0. Wow, this is amazing. This card's good. Play it as a 3 over 4 of. You won't be sorry.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
a great salvager.
It's a really good salvager.
The only thing that's a downside to it is that you can't use the card you salvage that turn.
Because it's on attack, so you can pay out stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that, along with discarding, is some of the more underrated parts of Weiss Schwarz. Ataru's little sister, Ruri, level 1, cost 1, 6,000 power, with the gigantic trait. For each gigantic character in the back row, this card gets 500 power and character encore.
Oh please, this is so standard.
At least it's not one of those for every level 0 you control.
That's
Yo,
so much
man.
better compared to back.
No, I know. This card is a little bit more standard, which makes the blue color seem a lot more fair than... Because, like, the blue color, compared to the red, has been so much better in this so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the blue
okay.
colors, the blue cards are always look so much better. If you actually play the Giant trade, I'm pretty sure it should be almost close to all blue.
Yeah, except for, like, the on-play attack, salvage, and then... Yeah, basically pretty much all blue. Unless they, of course, get a comeback trigger, in which case you kind of have to run that because, advantage.
But yeah, this is rather standard. You should have 2 in the back row.
You should, but like never. Oh no, you have Kirito. There you go.
Oh please,
Yeah,
it's still 116k. So there you go.
Yeah, with his
Yeah,
character
once you
encore.
hand encore.
And then you get the level 0 Kiritos that are just giving you stock and then 1,500 at center. Like, seriously? I mean, not stock, but I mean markers. Like, seriously.
Markers, yeah. I
There's
know.
no reason for you not to have a back row. Yearning for Tsukasa, Manabu. I want to point out that the level 3 cost 2 with the 1 power will not boost this card by 5,500 power because it has the word Tsukasa in it. Level 0 cost 0, 1,000 power with glasses and gigantic trait. All of your other gigantic characters get 500 power, and that normally would get this card played, but it's also a brainstorm. Pay 2 and tap this to mill 4, and for every climax you reveal, choose a climax in your waiting room and then add it to your hand.
Hey, think of it.
Huh?
Think of it this way.
Huh?
It's on trigger gauge. You know, if you play gate triggers, maybe you want that gate trigger in your hand so badly, you go ahead and salvage that
Why
gate
is
trigger.
this 2 cost?
You know, there are
Why?
other 2 costs. There are other 2 costs that does the same thing.
Yeah,
Except-
but
except
ew.
not grab climaxes, but yeah.
Well, yeah, this is the first brainstorm that grabs climaxes, right?
So good,
This is
guys.
the first-
So
this is
good.
the first. This is the first brainstorm that actually grabs climaxes.
Like, what the heck?
The cost is
Pay 2?
pay 2.
Well,
Yeah, pay 2.
I guess if you compare it to the pay 1 tap for every climax, give all your characters +1 soul. I guess that is kind of fair in a way, because you could really grab +2 souls with this, and then but I don't like it. I don't like the brainstorm
Well,
effect.
with the sheer amount of climax combos
It might be.
in this
It might-
series.
There's only been 3 so far. Either way, I mean, like,
There's Climax combos.
because I mean, like, there's Climax combos, and then there's everybody not named Project Diva Climax combos. I mean, when you look at Project Diva, some of the Climax combos are completely unnecessary, and a lot of them were pretty bad. Look at most series, and they're similar in the same way, except they have less bad Climax combos because, well, they're not focused on Climax combo multiples. I'm expecting one or two of these to be good, the Climax combos anyways, and the rest to be poor, so there wouldn't be a chance to pill up any other ones. And the only reason I think I would use the Brainstorm is if I didn't run the gate climaxes to salvage other I don't know. This is weird.
You already used this card for the plus 500 and the possible chance of you being super screwed in climaxes.
If you're pretty screwed in climaxes, you're basically saying pay 1 to try and dig myself out of it, because normally Brainstorm is 1, but you're paying an extra 1.
And you're tapping it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
so you better be damn screwed. You better be damn
Kirito.
screwed. You better be damn screwed to be using this.
You have Kirito gathering markers. Like, how screwed could you be?
And you never know.
You have no idea.
You have no idea. You'll never know.
Exactly.
You never know, yeah. Guess we
Alright.
can move on.
Yeah, let's get off gigantic. Ragnarok Breaker Hayate. Level 3 cost 2, 10,000 power with a magic and book trait. When this comes into play, draw 2, discard 1. And at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 2 and ditch 2 characters with Hayate or Rin in their card name. So you can discard 1 Hayate and 1 Rin. You can discard 2 Hayate, or you can discard 2 Rin. If you do pay the cost, select one of your opponent's characters, and that character gains the following ability. This card can't deal damage to players. Yep, at the opponent's attack phase. So you can't really do that at... you can't stop startup effects that deal damage, because that's usually during main phase.
You meant auto effects. Most of the time it's auto.
Yeah, I'm talking about startup effects, though, like the pay 2 tap, deal 1 damage.
Nah, most of them are auto. Those are ridiculously rare.
Yeah, true. I play visual art, so it's more common to me then. But yeah, okay. This effect deals with a lot of stuff, like on reverse deal 1 damage, on cancel deal X damage or 1 damage. It does a lot of things. It's really nice. And hey, print an overpowered card of Marika, print a counter to it in the next set.
Do note this card does not deal with cards that kick cards to clock, because it's not that. Those type of effects are not considered as damage.
Yep, they're not damage.
Yep.
They're not damage. So that's just a by effect of an event. That's just a effect of an effect. Overall, this is pretty good. I'll still probably use the 2 pay to level level 2-3 event, but you know, whatever.
In Nanoha, you really can't afford the 2-3 event.
I know that.
You really...
I know in Nanoha you can't afford that because it's too much. They just use so much stock. Although
so,
this new reprint may fix that.
The thing to point out regarding this card was that I brainstormed with my pupil who bought all my Nanoha stuff, and we brainstormed about how we're gonna put this card into a deck, and we found out that you can make a pretty sick deck with just Hayate and Reinforce, with just maybe the Shamal boosters to boost Hayate and the Shamal Searchers at level 0, and other than that, it's just really, really strong in terms of power on defense, and you can even run the 2-1 Reinforce for offense, because it says Rein, but Reinforce counts for that as well. So not only Rein's Y, not only the chibi one, but the adult one as well, work for that Rein effect. So I think that that kind of deck would be interesting. It definitely replaced the old level, the newest level 3 from the second movie, the Mistle Teen that's double stun. And you can keep the old Hayate from Ace, where if your opponent plays a Climax against character Encore as a healer, that one can stay, and you can replace that old Mistle Teen one with this one. Level 0 cost 0, 25 power, magic and weapon trait. This ability may be used up to once per turn when you use a startup ability or an act ability during this turn, plus 2,000 power. There's one card that works very well with this card, and that's why this has the N1 symbol. It's the old as a ferret. You can pay 1 and tap it to give a Nanoha the following ability. When you reverse a character, salvage 1. And that works amazingly with this card. I don't see anything else that works with this.
Super only once per turn, that was make it 4.5.
Yeah, still, 4.5 at level 0 is good enough to be able to salvage early.
That's assuming there's anything to reverse for its power, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you already run the anti-suicider fate, so it's not like you're going to have problems with suicider, so it's just maybe just a high power level, and 4,500 should be good enough. If not, then you can just run the 2k1 or maybe the draw, all gain 1k.
This card's pretty average. If it's like give another card 2k, oh god. Yeah, I would use that. But this
Oh, of
one
course,
is
of
still-
course. But like I said, the only card I can find that really does well with that is the And other than that, this card isn't that good. It's interesting that it's a common. It's nice buff to that card because that card is kind of obsolete now. So it's there.
If only this card gave other cards to 2K, not to itself.
Yeah, but then I don't think it would be 2500 power.
No.
It would be 50. I
No,
think it would
no.
be 1500 power to 2000.
Actually, I believe there's a PR for Daikapo with the same effect, except it gives other cards 2K.
Well, the reason that it's 2500 is because it's in the capo.
I don't think that counts, but
Yeah, it
whatever
doesn't.
you
It
want
doesn't
to call
count. I'm just trying to find some reason. That's all. Okay, fair enough. All right, and let's head off to the Sao TD. Kyoji protecting Shinon. This is level 0, cost 0, 2500 power with the net trait. If you have one or less other characters in this card gets 1000 power and 1 level. And the character opposite this gains the target trait. Generic card. Hey, you know what? Actually, one thing that this card does is that it obsoletes essentially Kirito Solo Player because that card was seeing on and off play, but because it was in blue, it was kind of awkward. Now that there's a red copy and it's a little bit more flexible, you can put cards behind it. This card actually might see a lot more play, even though it's net trait. In fact, maybe because it's net trait, because Sal has this weird push and pull where they want to accelerate themselves to level 1, but then stay there. So they want to trigger stuff like Asinalays on the sofa to grab net characters from the top and then put it in their waiting room, in their clock, just so that they can level up faster. So this is actually a pretty good addition to knock off Solo Player from their decks.
Nah, I'll probably still use solo.
Well, like what blue are you running in a Sao deck nowadays?
Me?
Yeah.
Who said I'm playing who said I was playing a blue Sao deck? I always play with Silica.
Like I'm just talking about the meta yellow red, either green or yellow red blue Sal, where they really want to focus on getting better reds than having the Suicider and the Brainstorm. And I think this will uproot Solo Player in those decks, especially because Solo Player was seeing on and off play. So that's my thoughts on that. This in the Sao deck.
Yeah, as for its second ability, pretty sure it's just troll, so don't worry about it. Unless
You sure? You sure?
Yes, I am sure, because if for an effect like that, you would think the power would be 500 less.
You never know.
Yeah,
know.
that's true. That is true because if the trait giving actually mattered, it actually does reduce in power. That is a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point. So if the fact that this doesn't reduce power for giving the target trait means it's just flavor.
Yeah, that's just why everyone was over speculating way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
People are just over speculating that card effect way too much. It's just a troll effect. You could mark me wrong if they come up with another TD card that does in fact use the special effect. But I can always promise you it will not there's gonna be no such card.
Unless they do another one of the antagonists and they also give a opposite character target trait, but then again that would also be
Now you might actually be able to use this in a standard Ash deck though.
Oh well, more like you want to have this against Ash.
No, if you want this against Ash, it's actually worse.
Oh yeah, that's right, because you give him an additional trait for another 1000 power, right? Never mind. All right, let's move on. Hi Kirito, good to see you. M9000 type avatar Kirito, level 1, cost 0, 4500 power. Avatar and weapon trait. If you have 3 or more other avatar or net characters, this gets 1000 power and it's character encore. Standard.
Actually, you might be used this with the 116k Asuna that gains 1k if they're 1k in hand encore if Kirito's on field.
But you want Kirito's strong bond for that, and if not, then you want the Kirito Searcher, which if you're really running a Prison Queen, you have much more varied options. And hey, if you're gonna run a level 1 Kirito attacker anyways, you might as well run the one that says if there's an Asuna on the board, become 5500 encore. Like that's same thing. This card is just standard and will not see play comparison to that card.
You know, I totally forgot that card existed because no one plays it. But there's not much you can expect from this anyways. It's a TD card.
Yeah, but then again, so is the Shinon, and
the Shinon's still actually pretty average, but for TD, it's a good card.
So, anything else to note for upcoming series or?
Nope, it's still the same. Everything's in conclusion. Rate, comment, subscribe, the usual crap. Leave questions down below, and keep away from cockroaches.